Yo, what's going on, boys? How you doing? Try to stay awake here. Give me about 10 minutes of your weekend. Let's learn a little bit, and then you guys can go party all you want. What's up, Mo, Stonktions, aka Stonktions. Ginger's in here. Gurvinder, Vladdy, Carson, Gurvish, Ashton's in here. Nakunj, Mr. Black, Oscar, Bikram. What's going on, boys? How you guys doing? For all our new members that joined today for the free premium, unfortunately, we didn't get one of those Ripper Fridays that we're used to in the last couple of weeks. We got a really boring day, actually. If you just traded the first hour of action today and then left for the rest of the day, congratulations, you beat everyone today. What's up, Rishi? But yeah, so literally in the first hour, everything was done. After that, there was absolutely nothing to do, really. SPY, if you take a look, we opened up this morning on SPY at 445.59. We closed today at 445.90. So we made a grand total of 59 to 90. That's 31 cents. 31 cent move on SPY today, so you guys see it right in front of you. Pre-market high, pre-market low. My lines need to be adjusted. I was busy doing something else, probably helping someone. There's a pre-market low, pre-market high, pretty much just in the range all day. End of day, we broke out and closed above, which is a good sign. Big volume at the end of the day. Might just be someone buying over the weekend, whatever. Who knows? Who cares? What's up, BV7? Late to pre-market, post-market, just like you are late to the market. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but SPY, barely any move. Nothing happened today. A lot of chop. Longer term time frame, everything looks fine. We're still making new highs every single day. Let's get rid of some of these lines here. Too many lines. All right, so another all-time high today. I mean, what else do you want from a bullish market, right? We're just kind of floating up. This is called a melt up. There's no real good news coming in. There's all bad news, but we're just melting up. Why are we melting up? So in my opinion, look at the volume today. No volume at all in SPY. Just been decreasing the whole time, right? So in my opinion, what happens is when most of the people online or all the traders, they get really bearish. They start taking these puts, looking for these dream scenarios. Market's gonna crash. We're in a pandemic. The economy's bad. This and that. Blah blah blah. So what the market will always do when there's a lot of people bearish, it's gonna rip up until they're all forced to cover, and then it crashes. So for right now, I'm still seeing a lot of bearish people online. I'm still seeing bears all over Twitter, all over internet, all over stock twits, everywhere, right? So as long as they're bearish, this market's not going to crash. As soon as they cover their short positions, that's when this market's going to start crashing, and it always has been like that, and it will always be like that. So don't get too bearish. Just follow the trend, play the trend. For right now, we had a lot of chop in the last 2 weeks. It's been tough trading. We have been nailing scalps, which I've been telling you, shorter term trades are the key right now. If you take longer term trades right now, you're going to get murdered. Except for UPST. QQQ off the pre-market low this morning and never looked back. Straight up, and we just consolidated all day above the pre-market high. Why is that important? Because QQQ is actually lagging SPY. So SPY is at all-time highs, whereas QQQ is not even close to all-time highs. Oh, I don't know if it's close, but it's not at all-time highs. Yeah, so QQQ not at all-time highs here. We have a big resistance at all-time highs at 369.91, 370 psychological number. If it gets over 370, all is good. NASDAQ will melt up, big tech will lead us, and we will have one more melt up before probably a crash. But just play the trend, play what's in front of you. And for right now, why is SPY higher than XLF? Why is SPY higher than QQQ? Because XLF has been strong for the last 3 days. We pointed out this range from 35 to 37 since June. We broke out, and look, we just went parabolic. And I told you guys yesterday we were getting close to overbought on the daily on XLF, so be careful in your financial names. It's due for a pullback, and what did it do today? It pulled back. So listen to the pre-market, listen to the post-market. We kind of have an idea of what we're talking about. We've been doing this a long time. I mean, we do it for a living, and we're still eating. You guys see how fat I am. IWM small caps, weakest sector by far today, closed at the low of the day almost, dumped all day, just dump after dump, and on the longer term time frames, we broke through that big volume shelf at 222 that I was talking about, closed below it. Everything looks bearish on small caps right now. It looks like a failure, and let's see if we can hold this support right here at 220.50. So 220.50 to the downside, and to the upside is the 50-day moving average at 224.57. Those are the only two numbers you need to know on IWM or small caps. Some people trade RTY. I like IWM just because a bunch of our members have smaller accounts. It's easier to trade these ETFs instead of trading the SPX and ES and RTY and NDQ. So I just trade the smaller ones because it's easier for people to follow. And I don't get a million questions on the price differences between SPY and SPX. Facebook was on top watch this morning. I gave you guys all these numbers first thing in the morning. What numbers are hard, what numbers to watch. And here, I'll just open it on my phone just to let you guys know. Give me 1 second, boys. Facebook 39364. Yeah, so I told you guys Facebook 364, then 366. Today, the high of the day was 364.60. So we got through it, but we did not hold above it. That's why I entered right here. When we got through 364, the first candle closed green. I entered, second candle pulled back. I was like, it's okay, everything's fine as long as this candle closes above 364, which it did not. So I cut my calls quickly for a tiny loss, covered that with snow, covered all my losses today with snow, so it doesn't really matter. And that was the level. We never got back above 364 again today. So 364 stands for that. Google 2752 was given to you. And 2752 broke and couldn't hold, came back underneath. End of the day broke again. Let's see if it holds. If it opens above 2752 on Monday, Google could run. So keep watching Google. Bitcoin news was Intel. The company Intel took a stake in Coinbase. So that's the only news I've seen on Bitcoin. Airbnb, this was the play of the day. If we held these contracts, we could have got a 400, 500% play. We bought them down here. Why did I buy them? I looked into the Airbnb earnings last night. They absolutely smashed revenue. They smashed earnings. They raised guidance. And the stock was up initially. And then the CEO's dumbass came on the call and he says Delta variant is an unknown. We don't know what's going to happen to our sales. So the stock went down $5. This morning, as soon as the gap down this much, we had an oversold bounce. Right away, I jumped in 150s for 115. We started scaling out at 160 and 2. These calls went up to like 4, I think, 4 or 5. I'm not even sure. I didn't check after that because I was bored. I started playing FIFA. And it was a pretty boring day other than that. Amazon took an L on this one. I do take losses. Just like Facebook, I thought it was going to be Fang Day today. And it started off looking like it was going to be Fang Day. So I was aggressive into Facebook. I was aggressive into Amazon. Amazon, I took the 3300s for 460. Broke my own rule. My own rule was it needs to hold above 3300 and then it can make a move to 3388. It did not hold above 3300 and I took them underneath anyways. Like a dumbass, just because we were slow over day and it broke the low of the day, so I got out quickly. So that's all I can say about that. Glad how I managed it, but I'm not glad I jumped in the first place. That was stupid of me. Palantir level is 24.92, 25.29, and it has to hold 24.67. Everything held up for Palantir today. I would have loved to close above 24.92, but you don't always get what you want. Closed the day today at 24.90, so we're off by 2 cents. Let's see if we can get over 24.92 and make our way to 25.30s on Monday. We got another week on these calls. We should be fine. I don't think they'll lose much premium because of time value. There's not much time value in those, so it'll be fine. In my opinion, UWMC running off of rocket earnings. We have earnings on Monday for UWMC. Look at this chart. If there was ever a chart that told me that earnings were going to be good, it's this UWMC. Just a falling wedge, first of all. Falling wedge, breakout, right? Earnings Monday. Rocket destroyed their earnings, went up a lot. Well, I didn't even look into the rocket earnings. Just based on price action after hours, they beat earnings. And I should have Roku open here somewhere. Okay, remind me to do Roku after this. UWMC falling wedge, one of my favorite patterns. Breakout earnings Monday, so obviously it's still a gamble, but I still held 3/4 of my calls. I'm being a little greedy here. Let's see what happens Monday. We'll see if we get a gap up. If we lose, we lose. I don't really care. Roku. So Roku. Why was I saying Roku? Is because the 200-day moving average was at. Why is it such a dark color? 359.12 was the 200-day moving average. We closed today at 357.59. So we actually closed under the 200-day moving average, and I don't like it anymore. That's why I didn't take it. But when I called it, it was floating right above the 200-day. And end of day, I guess we dumped a little bit because we closed underneath it. Yeah, so we dumped underneath it. I was calling it at like 359. So if it held the 200-day, I would have entered at the end of the day probably. Just hypothetically, I'm already in a lot of positions. I don't need any more. But yeah, that was the play, the 200-day. So Monday, if we close above 359 on Monday, which is the 200-day moving average, we could have a big play on Roku. Even the daily's getting oversold here. So last time the daily was getting oversold on the RSI I'm talking about down here, it's a relative strength index, it's a lagging indicator. So look at this, we dumped, RSI got oversold, and look at the bounce we went on. Crazy bounce. Same with back here, almost got oversold on the RSI, look at the bounce we went on. Over here, almost oversold on the daily. Nice 3-day, 4-day bounce here. So Roku was a nice play, but we might even get in cheaper on Monday. Maybe 400 calls on Monday will only be like $2 or something. I'll take those. We'll see. It's a big play for Monday though. Watch Roku. It moves like a crackhead when it does move. Vaccines, we're also on top watch today, and I told you guys Moderna needs 40150 or 402, and look, it just struggled with that level. Got up right at open, over it, and just dumped right back below. Rest of the day underneath, no follow through at all. Daily chart looks completely fine to me, just consolidation after a massive run. So what am I doing here? Yeah, so look at this. So we ran all the way from around 245 almost to 500, right? So that's more than a double that we had on Moderna in like the last 3 or 4 weeks. When a stock doubles in price, its market cap doubles. And that's a really tough thing to just keep going straight up. So what it's doing is very healthy consolidation. If this was not healthy consolidation, this would have went from 500 all the way back down to like 300. What is it doing though? It's not even going back to the demand zone. Demand zone is 362, 352-ish. That $10 demand range is where I would be interested in long-term leaps or equity. But right now it's just kind of holding up. It's letting the moving averages catch up right now. The only thing that would worry me on Moderna is if it fell below 352. I don't see any high volume selling. I just see people taking profit so far. So let's see if it holds up. And if the 21-day moving average catches up on Monday, takes a little dip, it might be a very good entry. So we'll keep watching Moderna. Vaccines are the future. Pfizer, strongest vaccine name of them all. The only vaccine name that me and Ricky jumped in. Well, now we're in NVAX as well. So pay attention to NVAX as well. Look at this beautiful daily flag. What did I tell you guys? PFE is doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. What does it do? It gets on a big bull run. 2 days of consolidation to get closer to the 8-day and then pop. 3 days of consolidation to get closer to the 8-day and then pop. 2 days to get closer to the 8-day and then pop. So it's just the same pattern over and over and over again. I'm pretty sure Pfizer will hit $50 next week in my opinion. So play it as you will. I still have a few of those October $46 calls. They're still up more than 100%. And I will roll those out. So as soon as I see, I'll probably sell them soon. If this hits $50, I'll probably sell those calls, wait for a pullback and jump in, roll them into $50 Novembers or roll them into $50 Decembers or something. But for now, Pfizer was a win. Great play, great chart. I'm not going to say great company because I don't really care for them. But yeah. NVAX, I told you guys the level was, give me 1 second. Okay, what did I say the level was on this one? It's a 5-minute chart. NVAX, I'm still in those 300s for September. The level I have for NVAX was 246 or some shit. Where'd it go? Why delete? 249, let's just say 249 for fun. It's too hard for me right now. So 228 is a key level. This is a line in the sand. If it takes out 228 to the downside, it's game over for NVAX. It's not going to come back. But for right now, the level was 249.50 was a support that I wanted to see it close over, and it closed over it. Hammer candle the last 2 days, showing lots of buyers are interested in this one. FDA approval for all vaccines. I don't know if it's for all vaccines, but for Pfizer, FDA approval in September. So we might get a run all the way to September now. But yeah, chart looks great. Everything looks set up. Only resistance left is 264. So 264 and then all-time highs of 332. 264, 332 on NVAX and 249 is support. Just watch those levels. ARCT took a big dump today. Super weak compared to PFE and NVAX. These are the levels I gave you this morning. 44.80 to the downside. 49.51 and 52.42 to the upside. And we closed below 49.51. So Monday, the only number that matters. If this is going to go up, it has to go through 49.51. Keep an eye on this one, though. It's a vaccine name, and it's a smaller market cap. So if all vaccines start going again, this one will probably have the biggest gains. This one and BNTX. UPST. How many times have I gone over this chart in the last 2 weeks? UPST. So let's just go over it one last time just to show you guys. I called this one out at 126. What did I say? I said this is based on the weekly chart. This is not the daily chop. This is not the 5-minute chart. This is not 15-minute chart. UPST is based on the weekly chart. So what did we do? We go 4 weeks of consolidation here, 116% in 1 week. So we got 5 weeks of consolidation here, 50% move in 1 week. So we got 8 weeks of consolidation here, and we went 54% in 1 week. So it's the exact same pattern playing out. Someone asked me about UPST puts today. Look what it did. After this huge weekly run, 3 weeks, it didn't give up anything. It just went sideways. So those puts would have expired garbage if you got them, okay? This one too, weekly, big move, and then 3 weeks didn't do anything. Your puts would have expired worthless. So what makes you think it's going to be different here? The whole play was called out from this weekly pattern. So what I'm following is this weekly pattern. I think the smartest play on UPST, if you were to play it, is one of those weird voodoo spreads that Ricky does where the stock price goes sideways and you collect premium from both calls and puts. So that would probably be my favorite play. Take a 3 week, I don't know if they're called call calendars or iron condors, I think. 3 week iron condor on UPST just to collect premium from both puts and calls. You'll get some little movements like this probably for the next 3 weeks to digest a 53-point move. I mean, you guys have to understand, when a stock goes up 53%, that's their market cap going up 53%. So say if Apple was a $1 trillion company, their stock price went up 50% in a week, they'd be worth 1.5 trillion. Like, that's huge. You can't just digest that move in a day or two. You need a couple weeks. Wish, I jumped in these calls because of seen a strong move right here. I seen us get over this big volume shove, and as you see here, there's a big gap to fill all the way to 939. We could have filled the gap all the way to 939, and lots of free space here. And I seen a couple of guys on Twitter that were pumping it, and they got a lot of money. So I was wondering, maybe they'll buy a ton, maybe they'll get all their followers to buy a ton, maybe I'll get a little squeeze and I'll get a double on these calls and get out. But I didn't. No big deal. I was a very small position anyways. I don't really care for Wish. I wouldn't really lose money in it. UWMC, UPST, already talked about it. Everyone talked about it. Everything's good. You guys, I hope you had a great week, a green week. Admins did good. We had fun this week. And have fun this weekend. Don't have too much fun. Study something. Do some research. Go over some earnings. Look which earnings. What did they say on certain earnings that made them go up? Why did Rocket go up and why did Airbnb go down? Go research that this weekend. And have fun. Be safe. I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.